2010. My partner, his sister, and I vacationed in Siena, Italy, a medieval mountaintop town with maze-like streets. We arrived from Rome by train and rented an apartment for the week. Even though we had a kitchen, none of us wanted to cook. Hey, we were on vacation and we planned to eat and drink our way through Tuscany. Several hours later, my stomach grumbled. I proposed. Hey guys, this guidebook here says that there's a restaurant called Osteria Babasuk, 2 blocks from here. How about we go out for some Italian? My sister-in-law, busy with her crossword puzzle, said, nah, I'll just have some cheese and crackers later. My partner, oh, I'm tired from the train trip from Rome. Let me take a nap first, and then when I wake up, we might go out to eat. Now, I didn't fly 6,000 miles to spend my first night in Siena, trapped in our apartment on my iPhone. I craved food and adventure. I counter-proposed. How about I bring back some takeout? They said, sound like a plan. I grabbed my iPhone compass app. I grabbed my map, and I grabbed my booklight to read my map. I exited the apartment and entered the night. Do you know how streets appear one way during the daytime, another way at night? That happened to me in Siena. Yes. Even though I had walked the very same streets earlier in the day, I did not recognize them at night. I turned my map, but I could not gain my bearings. I did not know which street I was on. It turns out, in medieval cities like Siena, they do not erect the street signs on a pole at the corner. No, they post them high on the walls of buildings at the corner of each block. But I walked with my head down to my iPhone and my map, and I didn't see the street signs above. And the little booklight I had did not see them either. That restaurant must be around here someplace, maybe the next block. I walked and walked until I reached a lit intersection, where I discovered I had walked a mile downhill from the restaurant. Yes. Did I write down my apartment address and phone number before I left? How do I dial my phone in Italy? Do I want to pay the international rate? If I were to call my partner, hey, I'm at the corner of Via Camellia and Via Giuseppe Garibaldi, would he be able to find me without a car? You heard of the stereotype about men's reluctance to ask for directions? Well, I did not speak Italian well enough to ask for directions. I panicked and ran. Yes, I found myself running outside the walls of Siena. That wall stood 50 feet high and 20 feet thick. I searched for an entrance back into the city. As I ran, I remembered occasions in which Italians treated me not as an African-American tourist, but as a Muslim or a North African. As I ran, I remembered an incident in which my partner, who is white, left me on a station platform to look for the train while he went inside to buy tickets. A group of young Italian men glared and cursed at me, their faces contorted like Venetian masks. I did not understand a word they said because I did not speak Italian. But I felt what they said. Hate is a universal language. You can tell when people hate you. I ignored them, but they increased the volume of the verbal attack. And for a split second, I feared they would throw me onto the tracks. My partner returned with the tickets. And when the pack realized that we were an interracial gay couple, they howled. The gang tossed a grenade of homophobia into the combustible mix-up Islamophobia and Negrophobia. Did they just step towards us? The train arrived. The doors opened. I yelled to my partner, "Get on the train! Get on the train!" Once inside, I spoke gibberish. I did not understand a word I said. I stared at the door and back at the car and feared that at any moment, the men would burst through to finish what they had started on the platform. So there I was, running outside the walls of Seattle, perhaps that same vacation earlier. And the thought occurred to me, Andre, if you run into men like the ones you encounter on the station platform in the middle of the night in a foreign city, they will kill you. You need to get off the street. I looked ahead and saw cars enter one of the entrances of the city. If I followed those cars, they would lead me back to the center of Siena. I quickened my pace. A sign pointed in the direction of Il Campo. Behind the red taillights, I ascended the mountain. If people clustered on one side of the street, I walked on the other. I became Othello's shadow. I knew what could happen to me if I ran into the wrong people on the streets at night in a foreign city. The medieval skyline opened up to Il Campo, the scallop-shaped piazza that the Sienese cover with dirt twice a year to hold their palio horse race around the dirt track. I craned my neck and gaped at the marble crown atop the long red brick shaft. It's not what you think. It's the Torre del Magia, known in English as the Tower of the Eater. Speaking of which, that reminds me of the purpose of my errand. Now that I knew my location, I knew how to find the restaurant Osteria Babazov in my apartment 2 blocks away. I walked down the alley, turned the corner, and there across the street was Osteria Babazov. The doors glowed. I entered them. My glasses steamed. Christmas lights hung above the counter. I spoke to an apron man behind the register. "Oh, fame, mangia." He pointed to a scrawled sign. "Pasta con filete de cavallo." I said, "Cavallo? Is that horse?" "Si, signore, cavallo, horse." "Do you have anything else besides horse?" No. Cavallo, horse. Mwah. "Okay, I'll have your pasta with horse meat." He served me containers of pasta, salad, and grabbed a couple of bottles of water. Then I walked 2 blocks to my apartment, which I had not seen in 90 minutes. I skipped up the steps, turned the key. My partner and sister greeted me. "Andre, where have you been?" I said, "Well, I took a wrong turn and got lost, but I'm here now. I brought back some takeout." What did you bring?" "Pasta con filete di cavallo." He said, "Cavallo? Is that horse?" "Yes, horse." My sister-in-law said, "Nah, I'll have some cheese and crackers later." My partner, "I'll join you." That night, we ate our first meal in Siena. For those who are interested, horse does not taste like chicken. It tastes like beef. And for the rest of our stay in Siena, I joked, whichever horse loses the palio race in Siena, they end up in this pasta. I realized how I got lost in Italy. I had turned left when I left my apartment instead of right. But if I had turned right, sure, I would have found sooner a meal not served on the menu at the Olive Garden. But I would not have a story to tell you. Sometimes you need to go without the maps and the apps. Sometimes you need to lose yourself in a city, in a community, in order to find yourself. And sometimes the best adventures in life are unplanned. You see, I did not become the person I am today by following maps. Thank you.